Good evening. Well, I am 31 years old, and it finally happened. I threw my back out. It pretty good this time. I guess it was bound to happen eventually. It's definitely very discouraging, though, especially living on a homestead, and I got so much to do around the farm. But I'll be on the couch here for probably the next week or two, recovering and healing, and I am determined to make good use of this time, though. So I've been going back through old videos and pictures from the past 2 years since we moved here to Tennessee and we started homesteading. And so I'm going to try to put some of that content together and post it on YouTube so that we can kind of bring everyone up to date on what we've been doing here. And I'm going to start off with this video, which is a video that we shot about a year and a half ago, and I just never did anything with it. Basically, we're just talking about why we moved to Tennessee in the first place. So here that is. Good evening. We just wanted to make a video real quick on kind of a lot of questions and some answers to them. We've been here in Tennessee for
almost a year.
Yeah, going on 11 months. Yeah, but this whole process began just over a year ago, so there's been a lot that's happened, and everything's been happening honestly so fast that we can't even hardly keep a record of it. So we wanted to make a video just kind of answering some questions and being able to bring all of you up to date on what's been happening in the past year here. And yeah, it's been quite the ride.
Lots of work.
Yeah.
But fun.
So we get this question all the time: why did we move to Tennessee? So there wasn't just one reason, though. I mean, for years we've been looking at land in Tennessee and Kentucky and just looking at a lot of land.
We wanted to do country living. Where we were at before was country, but not country. And like where we're at now is definitely very country, and like we can live the lifestyle that we've kind of wanted to live for a while. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't hate Ohio. Ohio's where we both grew up and were raised there, and we liked Ohio, but the land was very expensive and just flat, not a lot of interesting features to it much. And so we had about an acre out in the country when we lived there, which was nice, but just not what we were looking for. We really wanted more land. We wanted to be able to have woods, maybe a creek or something
for the kids to enjoy, and
to grow up
places
on,
to explore, and creeks and hills and woods, and just fun stuff.
So we came to realize we just could not get that in Ohio, at least not with the prices that were there. So that's why we were looking in Tennessee and Kentucky, but we just didn't have the opportunity for years to do that.
There was just no job available at that point. So
yeah, but we prayed about it for years, and the opportunity came up.
Yeah, there was a job posting, and it was the perfect job for Brayden, and in a good company, and he got right in, and he's very happy there. So I think this is a place to be. Yeah,
the owner was someone I knew, and it really worked out. After a couple months of talking, we decided to just do it. But there was just a lot of hoops to jump through to do that, though. So
we was in the middle of remodeling our house in Ohio. We had been remodeling it for 5 years, I think, and it was not anywhere near being done, and we didn't even have the money to finish it. So we decided that we was going to move in January of last year, right? And we moved in March. So we crammed 3 months of work,
we crammed a year's worth of work.
We crammed a year's worth of work in 3 months.
In 3 months, yeah.
We had some friends come out and help us, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them. But it was a lot of work, and it paid off. We actually was able to sell it.
We sold it
the day of listing on the market. We had it under contract. We put it on the market, and we had 3 offers, and it was under contract in 1 day. So that was an answered prayer. That was kind of a reassurance, you're meant to be moving, and God's in control. So it was amazing.
Yeah, it really worked out well. we were able to sell it on the first day, and but to get to that point was a lot of work. We had a 2,000 square foot house that was just halfway done, and we would just been kind of working on it as we could, but now we had a deadline that was only a couple months away, and so we had to really cram a lot of stuff in, and it worked out. We got it all done. We sold it for more than what we thought we would, and the market was really well. Unfortunately, right as we sold it and right as we moved, in fact, the day we moved,
is when Ohio shut down.
When COVID-19 was really ramping up for the first time, and there wasn't a whole lot of information out yet, so everyone was kind of worried, and it was a crazy time that we didn't know what was going to happen. They were, banning traveling. You're supposed to be only going out and traveling for emergencies, and here we're trying to move right in the middle of this, so it was a crazy time, but we got it done. We made it work.
And in the meantime of all that, we was trying to decide where we were gonna live in Tennessee, because we didn't want to just buy land without seeing it. So we ended up deciding that we thought getting an RV would be a good option for us, because then we could park it. We was either thinking parking it on someone's friend's land or staying at a campground. That way we could at least look at property and then be here and decide what we wanted to buy without just buying it from looking at pictures on the internet. So we bought an RV in Ohio, and it was a fixer-upper too. We completely gutted out the RV.
It was a perfect, though. It was exactly what we were looking for. We wanted a large RV with lots of slide outs and a bunkhouse, and we actually found it. Yeah. Found one 5 miles away. Amazingly.
So it was perfect, and we was able to get most of the renovations done before we moved down here, but we still had a lot of work to do while we was still living in Tennessee on the RV.
We painted the inside and put down some flooring, and that's pretty much it. That's all the time we had.
Yeah.
We had garage sales. We took truckloads to the thrift stores and just got rid of a lot of our stuff that we just didn't need, and the rest of it we crammed into the RV and into a trailer and just took off. And
it was a whirlwind of a month.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
But it worked out, and we got down here late one night.
Yeah. Parked at a campground, a local campground, and that was a very intense, stressful time for me. I just leaving everything. I grew up in Ohio, my family's there, and packing up the kids. We got to the campground super late at night. We didn't have curtains or blinds or anything in the RV, so that night we hung up sheets. We nailed sheets and blankets over all the windows because I wanted privacy at the campground, and we had that for a few weeks before we actually got curtains in. But it was,
yeah, that was a crazy time. We didn't even have furniture in the RV.
No.
We had a table with no chairs, no couch.
The kids slept on blankets because we hadn't bought mattresses or anything yet for them, but it was a crazy time.
Yep, but we made it work, and like she said, that we didn't want to just buy a piece of land without really taking the time to find something we really wanted and be able to be there. So the campground was the best option. We just found a local campground that was only 30 minutes from where I'd be working, and it had monthly rates that we just went with. It was good and bad. The campground was very nice. It was very convenient, and it was very quick and affordable. We could just pull in and then we're set. I'd say the cons, though, I mean, it was very crowded. Lots of people moving in and out every week.
Just not a good environment to raise kids. I mean, it's an amazing spot to go camping and like short term, but it's just not a good place, I think, to just raise kids. And they just needed a place where they could go out and run free, and I wouldn't have to worry about, strangers and just the influences at campgrounds. And so, I mean, I was definitely ready to get out of the campground, but we hadn't found land yet, and we didn't want to rush into any land. So we was there for 6 months, right, at the campground?
Yeah, it was probably about 6 months.
6 months we was at the campground.
Yeah. So that worked out for a short-term plan.
Yeah.
And then during that time, we were looking for land, like actually looking for land locally for about 6 months. I don't know, we looked at dozens and dozens of properties.
We looked at tons, and actually when we looked at the property we bought now, we actually said we wasn't going to buy it, because we was here looking at the property, and we thought it was, beautiful and gorgeous, but it was just very overgrown. It was like a jungle.
Was a mess. Yeah.
And Brandon came home with, it was like 60.
Oh yeah. The first time we looked at it, we get back and I had like 50 some ticks on me.
He counted. He was in the shower picking off ticks, and he was in there forever picking up. The kids were covered in ticks. I had ticks, and then Simon, our youngest, smashed his finger in the car door and like did some like major like damage to his finger, and it was kind of a traumatic experience. And we got home that evening. I'm like, we're not buying this property. I was like, it's just a sign. Simon smashed his finger, all the ticks, like there's no way. And it was like 2 months later that we decided that this property was still available, and we went and looked at it again, and we didn't hardly get any ticks on us that time.
Yeah.
And we decided to put in an offer, and they took our offer. So
my advice with buying land like that is, here was our issue. We couldn't afford a large plot of land with a house. So we had to make the decision, either we buy like, just a 1 acre in a house, or maybe in a house in town, or we buy a large plot of land that's raw land, and we just have to, live in the RV until we can build someday. So that was a difficult decision that we really worked through, and we finally decided that the land was more important because of our values, of what we want to do, and what way we want to raise our kids in the country on land, and to be able to have large gardens, and to raise our own food, and to have animals. And that lifestyle of homesteading is a large part of why we're even doing this. So that was the driving factor of, we decided we can make do without a house, and just we have a nice large RV that will work for now. And that's the route we went. And I'd say, if you're looking for land, if you want to homestead, you just got to weigh out those pros and cons and really come down to the fact of deciding on what is truly important to you and why you are choosing this lifestyle, and that'll help you, choose the right piece of land that's for you.
And it's not going to be easy. It's a lot of work, but we found this, and there's 30 acres, and there's like 9 acres of like pasture land, and then 20 some acres of woods. The woods is beautiful, and there's a creek that goes through the property, and there's like 3 springs on the property, and it was just perfect.